Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and I thought tonight we would do something a little different. I did tell you that I would be throwing in a lighthearted video every now and then just to kind of break things up, and I thought tonight might be a good time for that. So this video is going to be much lighter than the subjects that we normally deal with, and I bet once I upload this, if you try to actually pick up this video, you will find that it's lighter. So here we go. And these are amazing facts that are true. They are true. They're strange little facts they are, but they're true. All right, the Supreme Court. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Michelle, you said that this was going to be lighter. It is. We're not going to be dealing with any of that stuff at all. But the Supreme Court has its own private basketball court. Did you know that? I didn't. And it's on the top floor of the U.S. Supreme Court building. And they call it, get this, the highest court in the land. Now, that's pretty darn funny. I don't care who you are. So anyway, let's go on to the next fact, which I find a little bit hard to believe, but apparently it is true. Walmart, yes, I said Walmart, has a lower acceptance rate than Harvard. Yeah, you can get into Harvard apparently easier than you can get a job at Walmart. Why is that? Well, I could answer that for you, but think about it for a minute. And here it says, you think you're hard to get into Harvard, but with your fancy 8.9% admittance rate and all. Well, try this on for size. Only 2.6% of Walmart applicants are accepted. How about them apples, huh? Now we realize this comparison isn't exactly flawless, but you have to admit it is funny. Now, I think the difference in these rates are anybody that is applying to Harvard probably has the credentials to do so. However, at Walmart, there are a lot of people on social assistance or what have you that have to put applications in every week to get their check, or however many you have to in a month. I don't know. I've never been unfortunate enough to have to accept that, but anyway, I've heard that people will just put applications in places really wanting them to turn them down. So I think that this is where that low acceptance rate is coming from, because probably a great portion of people that are applying don't really want the job. So 2.6% of applicants are accepted to Walmart. Now, I would never have believed that. I would have said it was probably 99.5, but I would have been wrong, and so would you have been. So there you go. Now, here's a guy. He died, but he was a football fan, and he had a last dying wish. What was that? Well, he was a lifetime Cleveland Browns fan, and he was a season's ticket holder, and he requested in his obituary for 6 Cleveland Brown pallbearers at his funeral. Now, why would he do that? Well, he wanted the Browns to let him down one last time. Now, I don't care who you are, that's funny. So at least this man had a good sense of humor, and for that, we applaud him, even though he wouldn't be able to hear us. All right, and then there's this strange fact that I should know. Having a master's in English, you would think that I would know this, also a degree in psychology, but you know what? I have never heard this before, but apparently I checked it out and it is true. Unfortunately, do not ask me to pronounce this word. There is a technical name for the fear of long words, and it's called, now, if you can pronounce this, you are a better man or woman than I am, because I cannot, but perhaps I could try. Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia, the fear of long words. And I think they should add another fear or phobia to the dictionary of phobias. I think that they should name a phobia for the fear of saying the fear of long words. What about that? I think that is in order, personally. Let's continue. Now, did you know, yes, this is a unicorn, and did you know that hunting unicorns is legal in Michigan? Yes, it's legal in Michigan. So if you wish to hunt unicorns and you are in Michigan, It is completely and 100% legal. Lake Superior State University in Michigan offers a unicorn hunting license. So, although you do need the license, it is completely legal, and I'm sure they will give you one. Unsurprisingly, the chief herald of the unicorn hunters was once quoted saying, the pursuit of the unicorn is a lonely quest. We wish them nothing but good luck. And I hope if they do at some point catch a unicorn that they will show us all, because I want to see. And I'm not fooled by any means. This is not a real unicorn. So I just want to tell you all that this is not a legless unicorn at all. It is not real. So having said that, I'm going to continue. Now, here, I love cows. I really do love cows. I've always loved cows because I grew up staying weekends, a lot of weekends at my grandfather's farm, and I milked cows by hand. And I don't know, it was just kind of a thing that I look back on with good memories. Anyway, did you know cows moo with regional accents? Yes, they do. Excuse me, coughing. In small populations, such as herds, you would encounter identifiable dialectical variations which are most affected by the immediate peer group, explains one UK professor. So, just like human beings have accents as you travel from one region to the next, so, it seems, do cows. So, I am wondering if the cows that live in Quebec or live in France say le moo, whereas, the English-speaking cows say moo. I don't know. I don't know if there are like Valley Girl cows, like le moo, or I don't know. But apparently, cows have accents. Now, I don't know. Has anybody checked out whether cats, dogs, other animals have regional accents? I don't know. This could open up a huge thing. It could open up a huge area of research for somebody. I'm just saying. I want to know. Inquiring minds, we want to know. So I don't know. If you live in France and your cat says le mieux, I want to know. Okay. Now, let's go on here. Now, we all know who this is. Who is this? Who is this? You know. It's the Cookie Monster. No, that's where you'd be wrong. The Cookie Monster has a real name. It's Sid. Seriously. It's correct. Look it up. I know you're saying, I don't believe you, Mishel. I know you try to bring us, truth, but I don't believe you. Well, look it up. His name is Sid, so stop calling him Cookie Monster. Stop it. All right. And here we go. Now here's something almost related to the things that we normally cover. Did you know that China censored the word for censorship? Yes. That is right out of the book 1984. They did away with words because if you didn't have the words to describe something, it really couldn't exist. Because in order to describe a word like censorship, you have to understand the idea behind censorship. So they did away with the word for censorship. So there is no such word to describe what they're doing. Isn't that clever? Well, yes and no. I guess you can be guilty of a crime. You can't be guilty of a crime if no one can describe what it is, right? Seems to work for them, and it seemed to work in the novel 1984, which I think everybody should read at least one time in their life, and if it's been more than 10 years, you need to read it again. Seriously. Now, that's just my advice because I happen to think that it's a book that is very timely for our generation, but this is supposed to be light, so I will leave that right there. Now, who's this? Well, to tell you the truth, he doesn't look anything like he used to look like, but this is Barry Manilow if you don't recognize him because, and I know half of you are saying, who's Barry Manilow? Anyway, this is Barry Manilow, and did you know that he did not write his hit song, I Write the Songs? Now, I'll tell you one thing. If I I heard that song so many times growing up, I write the songs, that I wanted to perhaps hurt myself. And so I don't even like reading. I write the songs because all of a sudden it brings up the memory of that song and it plays in my head, and I'm afraid that I'm going to get an earworm from it because I don't like it. I never did like it. But anyway, he is not the man responsible for this song, which I guess I'm happy about. I don't know if I'm happy or ambivalent about it. I guess probably ambivalent, because I don't know Barry Manilow. I don't know much about him, except that he did sing that song, for which I will always hold him accountable. Anyway, before he recorded it, Barry didn't even think it was a particularly good song, and I think that he should have gone with that impression personally, but he didn't, and that is why we now have this song, I Write the Songs. But he is saying I write the songs, but he really didn't write the song. He's a liar. I'm just saying. I mean, you don't sing a song called I Write the Songs and then let everybody know I actually didn't write that song. Doesn't make sense to me, but let's move ahead. Alrighty. Now, this is interesting. Vending machines. Yes, a particularly weighty subject. Vending machines are a bigger threat to humanity than sharks. That's correct. You heard that right. You're twice as likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark. So when is Discovery Channel premiering their vending machine week? That's what I want to know. When? Seriously. But on the other hand, probably when the vending machine kills you, it probably doesn't rip your arms and legs off. There's probably, it's probably less gory to be killed by a vending machine than a shark. But apparently vending machines are much bigger threat. So I am wanting to know when Vending Machine Week is premiering because I want to watch it. All right, here's the next one. And I know you didn't know this, so don't even pretend that you did. The blob of toothpaste that sits on your toothbrush has a name. It's called a nurdle. Yes, it's a nurdle. And how often does your nurdle fall off your toothbrush? Because that happens to me a lot. I would say probably 3 times a week. I go to brush my teeth and the nurdle falls off my toothbrush. And it really ticks me off because there it is sitting in the sink. And I don't know about you, but I have a white sink and the toothpaste is white. And I'm looking at it and I'm looking at this pristine white nurdle sitting there like a blob in my sink. And I'm thinking, I wonder how many other germs are in that sink where the nurdle is sitting. And I'm always, try to reason it out in my mind. Am I going to scoop up the nurdle on my index finger and put it back on the toothbrush, or am I going to turn the faucet on strong and wash it down the drain and reapply the nurdle? Now, I would say it's probably half and half. Half of the times I do scoop it up with my index finger and stick it back on the toothbrush and brush my teeth. And then half the time I say, ew, I got makeup in that sink and stuff, and I'm going to just wash her down and reapply the nurdle. So I don't know, but that is what is sitting on top of your toothbrush. It's the nurdle. So stop calling it the blob of toothpaste or whatever you call it. It's a nurdle. It has a proper name and it gets insulted when you don't use its proper name, like anyone would. My people call me my nickname, believe it or not. Now, this is a little trivia for those of you that have been listening to me a long time. My nickname is, in fact, Goo. Now, I'm not going to get into how I got that nickname, but practically all of my close family and friends call me Goo. I don't like it. I wish they'd stop calling me Goo because my name is Mishel, and that is my proper name, and I think it is more applicable to me than is the name Goo. But hey, I'm just saying that that's probably how the toothpaste feels, right? You're calling it this blob of toothpaste and it has a proper name. It's a nurdle. So start calling it by its proper name. And if you don't, there's going to be, well, I don't know. Perhaps we should rise up and demand that nurdles everywhere be acknowledged. They perform a very, very important job. Have you ever seen anyone that hasn't brushed their teeth? It's nasty, man. It's nasty. All right. Now, let's go down to here. Did you know that in 2014, a 2014 study, 1 in 9 Americans, exactly 11% of the population, thought HTML was actually a disease? Yes, that was in 2014. So it was a little bit ago, but still, yeah, 11% of the population thought HTML was actually a disease, and probably that correlates with probably 11% of the population were dropped on their heads as children. I don't know, but hypertext markup language is what it stands for. Hypertext markup language. It's a standardized system for tagging text files to achieve font, color, graphic, and hyperlink effects on the World Wide Web pages. And there you are. That's what it is. I've been doing HTML since I can remember. I think, what was the first? I don't know, but I remember learning HTML. I remember it well, and I still know HTML. Anyway, here we go. Here's a clown, and it says you can hire scary clowns to terrify children. You can hire a clown in Switzerland to stalk your kid and creepily smash a cake into their face on their birthday. Okay, let me, yeah, and as if nice clowns weren't terrifying enough, you've got to hire scary clowns. Now, let me just say something. To any of my friends that may be, or family that may be listening, don't ever do that to me. Not ever. I hate clowns. I've always hated clowns. I think that they are absolutely the most terrifying thing on the face of the earth. And if anyone hires a scary clown to terrify me, to smash cake into my face, I will be probably reduced to a little puddle on the pavement. I do not like clowns, and I am not going to be responsible for what I do to that clown. If a scary clown comes after me, it's every man for himself, let me tell you, or woman for herself. I'm just not going to say that clown would be safe in my presence. I'm just saying. Clowns are terrifying. Unless, now, I do have to say this. I don't know if you have watched Puddles. I think his full stage name is Puddles Pity Party. You can get it on YouTube. You can search for it on YouTube and you can find it. Now, Puddles, I don't know why, but it's a very odd thing that once I heard Puddles sing, and he probably has one of the best male voices I have ever heard in my life, I thought that Puddles was rather sexy. So I don't know about you, but I can't account for it because I'm terrified of clowns. I think they are very, very creepy. But Puddles, I'd make an exception for Puddles. Anyway, let's go on. Now, here we go. Everybody needs this information. Everybody. Did you know that flowers like Viagra? Well, they do. They do. If you put some Viagra in a vase, it'll make the flowers all stand up straight and stiff for a week. Yep, it's true. I know. Like normally they'd wilt in that amount of time. No, they'll be all stiff and straight, standing right up there. Yep. So, yeah, flowers and penises like Viagra, apparently. So there you go. I would not have ever guessed that, ever. But there you go. So if your significant other is taking the blue pill for whatever reasons, and he has some extra and you have flowers, let's say he's gone out and bought you flowers for your birthday or for a special occasion, then perhaps, you can ask him if you could put a little bit of Viagra in the vase to extend the life of the flowers. Yeah, right. Okay, let's move on. Now, oh my gosh, the power just went out, and that is very strange. I hope I'm still recording here. Perhaps... Okay, that's very strange indeed. Hopefully my computer is still recording this, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to finish this, even though there are no lights and it's very, very creepy dark in here. Britain's Secret Intelligence Service once hacked an Al Qaeda website and replaced the bomb instructions with a cupcake recipe. Yes, a cupcake recipe. Now, that makes me want to work for the Secret Service, really, in some capacity, so I could do something like that because that is my humor. I bet you all those ISIS men were out there baking cupcakes instead of cutting people's heads off. But maybe that's just me hoping for the best. Now, here is the next one. Here is President Coolidge. He had a childish sense of humor. And I didn't know this, and I bet you didn't either. Believe it or not, the 30th U.S. president thought it was hilarious to push the emergency buzzer on his desk and then hide when the Secret Service came running. Like, how strange is that? Well, that's something I'd do if I was in the White House. I'm just saying. I would get such a charge out of that. But anyway, here we are on our last one. We arrived at our last one. Now, did you know that cows don't like Willie Nelson? They don't. Dairy cows will produce up to 3% more milk when listening to music. That's true. If you own dairy cows, you're a dairy farmer, you better start turning on the music because the cows will produce 3% more milk. 3%! That's quite a bit. But they don't like country music, especially Willie Nelson. So they need something with a better beat. So just keep that in mind, that if you are a dairy farmer and you want your milk production to go up, don't play Willie Nelson, around the girls, okay? The girls don't like Willie Nelson, apparently. So get something with a beat, maybe a little disco music. I don't know, just whatever. But apparently that is something that we all needed to know. So that is it for tonight. The electricity is still off. I don't know why, but it does appear dark all over the neighborhood. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one. That would really suck. So I'm going to toddle off for now and close this out, and I will be back tomorrow, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Good night.